All right, Larry Krueger here for the Krug Show with who the Warriors ought to look at in the buyout market. All right, the trade deadline is coming up this week. It's Thursday. NBA trades will go down. Kyrie Irving's now a Dallas Maverick. The Warriors are supposedly looking for size and they're looking for shooting at the trade deadline, but are they going to be able to make a trade? Now, here's the question. Do they need to make a trade? I think they do. I think they absolutely do. I don't think the Warriors are going to win the title if Moses Moody and James Wiseman ride the bench, and they can't turn those guys into either, at least one rotation player. Either one of those two guys becomes a rotation player or a trade that nets them a rotation player. I don't think the Warriors are going to win if they have to lean on Moses Moody and James Wiseman, and those guys are on the bench doing nothing. So to me, it's about get something out of Moses Moody and James Wiseman, or at least be willing to consider moving them at the deadline. And I don't think Golden State's going to do it. There's a lot of talk that they're interested in Matisse Thybulle, and a Moses Moody straight up deal for Matisse Thybulle works as far as the salaries. And that one would be interesting because Moody is not playing at all, and Thybulle is not an offensive player at all, but he's a tremendous defensive player. And he would help their rotation by having another body who can play defense. So do they make that trade for Matisse Thybulle? Possibly. The trade that I would suggest would be James Wiseman and Moses Moody to Detroit for Sadiq Bey and Nerlens Noel. But even that trade, in a lot of ways, is selling low on Moody and Wiseman. And do the Warriors really want to sell low? So the NBA has a waiver deadline on March 1st. That's the last day players can be cut and still maintain postseason eligibility if they do join a playoff team. The signing deadline for playoff eligibility is the last day of the regular season. The waiver deadline to be eligible for non-free agents is March 1st. So if you're a free agent and they bring you in, they've got to bring you in by March 1st, or you're not playing in the playoffs. And other than that, you got to be on the roster at the end of the regular season. And if you're not eligible to play in the playoffs. So I'm going to assume that the deadline on Thursday is going to come and go, and the Warriors are not going to be able to make a trade. And so then they're going to pivot to the buyout market. And there are several quality veterans that are rumored to be potentially available on the buyout market. So let's take a look at who's on the buyout market, and we'll just run through it and who, that's on that market could or potentially may interest the Warriors. One is John Wall. I don't think the Warriors are going to have any interest in John Wall, but John Wall is going to be on the buyout market. Phoenix has been trying to trade Jay Crowder all year. He's yet to play a single game. He's interesting. Now, if they cannot get the trade done for Jay Crowder, and I can't imagine that the Warriors and Suns will be able to get together on a trade for Crowder. And if I'm the Suns, I don't want Crowder in a Warrior uniform. So I really don't want to do I don't want to trade Crowder directly to the Warriors, and I don't want to do a three-way trade that nets the Warriors Jay Crowder, because in a lot of ways, Crowder is exactly what they need. They need a little toughness. They need a little edge. They need a little perimeter shooting. They need a veteran. They need a rotation player. And Jay Crowder fits all of those descriptions. So if I'm Phoenix, I'm keeping Jay Crowder from the Warriors. But Jay Crowder is a guy in the buyout market. If it gets to that point, absolutely. I'd have a lot of interest in Jay Crowder in the buyout market. Tough guy, can hit open shots from the perimeter, can shoot the three ball, gives them, a rebounder, a toughness, an edge that, they don't have. So yeah, I like the idea of Jay Crowder. Here's another one. Mason Plumlee. Through 55 games, Plumlee's averaging a pretty steady line of 12.3 points a game, 9.7 rebounds a game, and 3.7 assists per game. And he's shooting 67% from the field. Mason Plumlee, I mean, I've seen rumors where the Warriors are trading James Wiseman in a deal that brings in Mason Plumlee. I wouldn't be in favor of trading James Wiseman for Plumlee for obvious reasons. Plumlee's got a limited upside, and Wiseman, I still believe, has a significant upside. But if you could get Plumlee in the buyout market and you could add a quality big, like a veteran big like Mason Plumlee, who can score and rebound and play a role for you, The Warriors right now are one injury to Kevon Looney away from having a crisis in the paint. So yeah, I'm interested in Jay Crowder. I'm interested in Mason Plumlee. The other name that's really interesting to me, Serge Ibaka. He's 33. He's very experienced. He's in his 14th season in the NBA. Last year, Ibaka split time between the Bucks and the Clippers, and he played about 16 minutes a game. I think Serge Ibaka, in a lot of ways, if he is healthy, is exactly the piece they need. He's a big man who can block shots and shoot the three. He can help you on the defensive end as a rim protector. He can help stretch the floor on the offensive end as a 3-point shooter. So, and he's been through the battles, he's been through the wars. He understands what it takes to win in the playoffs. Yeah, if somehow Serge Ibaka gets bought out and he's out there, the Warriors will be among many teams that will have interest. But in a lot of ways, I think Serge Ibaka is a perfect piece for the Warriors. Another guy who's going to be bought out, Russell Westbrook. I don't think he fits. Wouldn't touch him at all. Derrick Rose. Rose is 34, and the Knicks aren't likely to pick up his team option at 15.6 million. So there's a lot of speculation that Derrick Rose may be bought out. I don't think Derrick Rose helps the Warriors. I really don't. I mean, you've got multiple. You got Ty Jerome there who can handle. You've got Poole. You've got Steph. They've got needs elsewhere. Derrick Rose, not a fit. Now, the Pistons according to a lot of reports I'm reading, are definitely going to move on from Corey Joseph and Nerlens Noel. And I already mentioned Noel. I think Noel, in a lot of ways, would really be a good fit for Golden State. He makes $9.7 million. He's got a team option for the 23-24 season. And if Detroit's looking to shop him, and his name has been bandied about in the rumor mill with Sadiq Bey, also in other deals as well. And as I said, I would trade James Wiseman for Sadiq Bey and Nerlens Noel. So that being said, I absolutely would be interested in Noel as a buyout market candidate. Why? Well, he can run the floor. He's not old. He can block shots. He can give you an impact inside. I think he can give you a little bit of a presence inside that the Warriors desperately need. So, yeah, if Nerlens Noel's on the market, I'm interested in Nerlens. Orlando is considering cutting Terrence Ross and maybe even RJ Hampton. Ross is the older version of the athletic wing, and Hampton's the younger version. Ross has a lot more game than Hampton. Hampton's much more of a run and jump athlete with not a lot of basketball skill, where Terrence Ross, I think, could really help Golden State off the bench. I think he can help him as a defender. I think he can help him as a two-way wing. He's a veteran. He's tough. I think has some ties to the Bay Area. That one makes a lot of sense to me, Terrence Ross. Will Barton is seeking a buyout from the Wizards. And if the Wizards, who are trying desperately to trade Will Barton, if they can't trade him, there's a lot of talk that they're going to buy him out. Now, I like Will Barton. I think he's a talented player, but I don't think he's what the Warriors need. So, and then, of course, there are several free agents, several existing free agents, guys you could sign right now. Guys that are available to work in the NBA and are just out of the league for whatever reason. And it's a pretty extensive list. It includes Carmelo Anthony, DeMarcus Cousins, Dwight Howard, who's now playing in Taiwan, Hassan Whiteside, DJ Augustine, Kent Bazemore, Eric Bledsoe, Avery Bradley, Sterling Brown, Trey Burke, Michael Carter-Williams, Gorgie Jang, Chris Dunn, Derek Favors, Lou Williams, Noah Vonleh, Tristan Thompson, Greg Monroe. Those are just the top free agents. Of that group of free agents, I mean, I would have some interest in Carmelo Anthony just because I think he could play, that stretch four role on a team like Golden State at a really high level. I'd be interested in some size, but I don't want Cousins and I don't want Howard. But if I would take Hassan Whiteside's a tremendous shot blocker. And if he's available, I would take him. Chris Dunn is interesting. The Warriors missed GP2 in the worst way. And GP2 is just a smothering on the ball defender. And they haven't had that player all year. Chris Dunn, of all the guys that I've seen listed here, he is the guy that probably is the closest to GP2. I mean, he's a point guard, but he's 6'4". He's got long arms. He can absolutely engulf point guards, and I really like the way he plays defense. So, just to sum it up, there's the trade deadline's coming up Thursday. Will Golden State make a move? Will they not? I hope they don't. First of all, do not trade Jonathan Kuminga. Do not give away James Wiseman. If you want to make a deal involving Moses Moody, I'm more understanding. But I don't want to see them trade Kuminga at all. And I definitely don't want to see them sell low on James Wiseman. But if it gets to the buyout market, once again, the names that I would have a lot of interest in, Jay Crowder, Mason Plumlee, Serge Ibaka, despite the fact he's 35, Nerlens Noel, Terrence Ross. And then if they're going to dabble on the free agent market, the two guys that intrigue me the most are Hassan Whiteside, just purely for his shot blocking ability, and Chris Dunn, who is absolutely an incredible defensive player. I may even have a little interest in Lou Williams off the bench because he's such an incredible scorer. And, maybe with, Steph having the injury, Golden State might need a little bit more backcourt scoring. And I may take some interest in Lou Williams, but that'll be it. Lou Williams, Chris Dunn, Hassan Whiteside out of the free agent market, Terrence Ross, Nerlens Noel, Serge Ibaka, Mason Plumlee, and Jay Crowder out of the buyout market. So, will they make a move? Will they stand pat? Bob Myers is not known for making moves. That's for sure. He hasn't made a lot of moves at the trade deadline. They haven't needed him to make a lot of moves at the trade deadline. This year, they absolutely have to do something at the deadline. They either have to find somebody at the deadline, or if they don't, they really have to be active and land somebody in the buyout market. And if they can add a significant player at the trade deadline, or if they can add a significant player in the buyout market, Golden State, once again, despite their 500 record and the struggles they've had, may be a title contender. But they got to get something done this week. They either got to get something done at the deadline, or if it doesn't happen, they got to really aggressively hit that buyout market, and they got to land a player. And they may need to land, the right kind of player, either in a trade this week or in the buyout market to get them over the top. It's the West is not stacked. Dallas adds Kyrie, but Denver's the number one seed in the West. Neither of those teams nor anybody else in the West is really the kind of team that would scare Golden State. But if Golden State either doesn't make a trade or get somebody in the buyout market, they're not going to win the title. Hope you enjoyed it. Please check out The Krug Show. We love all the people who are big fans of The Krug Show. We're closing in on 14,000 subs, and thanks for supporting us. And until next time, Larry Krueger here for The Krug Show.